Welcome to Grounding Connection, where we are renaturing in relationship with climate change. This series demonstrates a different way to interact with our fear, anger, hopelessness, and helplessness around climate change, or collapse or sixth extinction event, however you label it. I'm Betsy Kudlinski. I'm a freedom guide, like a nature guide, but the nature we're exploring is our own. As someone living with trauma, stress, and overwhelm, we work our way towards personal freedom. With our nervous system's interest and safety in mind, I guide us to trust our true nature and feel the freedom to walk our own paths in life. With training in somatic experiencing and life coaching, over 3 decades of working professionally with animals, and more than 20 years of interest in climate change, this project is an attempt at making a human impact. I'm representing only me and my work, which is how I use my knowledge and skills in relationship and community with human and non-human animals. I'm not portraying SE or even life coaching here. I fully acknowledge that I wouldn't be here doing this without the knowledgeable people in my social lineage. Also, the radiant humans with whom I couldn't record this series are volunteers, some of whom I've worked with in the past, and some I have never met before. Everything beyond the first couple of minutes you'll see and hear is spontaneous. It's how I work and won't change it, even for YouTube. I'm deeply grateful for both these humans and for any and all humans who watch these episodes. If this episode is interesting or helpful to you, let me know. We all have to deal with YouTube's algorithms, so comment, like, subscribe, tell a friend. If it means a whole lot, I'd be delighted if you bought me a coffee. The link is in the description. Now, this episode is with Charlotte, who's another human I haven't worked with before. She feels despair and collapse awareness, including bringing children into the world. Hi, Charlotte.
Hey.
It's lovely to sit down with you today. So we've had just a little bit of conversation. And first, before we get into any more conversation, I'm wondering how you feel right now in your body.
Funny you ask because I'm actually quite disconnected from my body.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the head and the body are
Yeah.
disconnected.
And how can you tell that your head is completely disconnected from your body?
Because when you asked the question, I couldn't sense anybody.
Oh no. Okay, so
Right?
so if you put your feet on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
do you have any shoes on?
No.
Okay. Do you have socks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's socks. Is the floor hard or is it a carpet?
Carpet.
Carpet. Is it deep or like a low?
Medium.
Medium. Okay. So with your feet on the floor, can you like bury your toes in the carpet, in that medium carpet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Does it feel soft? Does it feel a little scritchy? How's it feel?
Witchy.
Scritchy. Yeah. Can you like pretend or imagine that you can feel the individual carpet fibers?
Can I close my eyes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. And keep doing that. And can you notice that as you move your feet back and forth, your whole body is moving just the tiniest bit?
Mm.
Yeah. Can you feel it in your shoulders?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you feel it in like your hips?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just notice what your hands are doing. You don't have to change them. Just notice. Yeah. And then notice what your breath is doing. Just notice your breathing. Yeah. And you can absolutely keep moving your feet if you'd like. You can bring them to stillness. Throughout this time, I'm going to suggest that you go ahead and move or do whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable, or, that you have an impulse for. There you go. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Do you have a body again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so how much? Like percentage?
80%.
Nice, considering that we were not there very much.
Mm.
Yeah. And just noticing what like the continued movement does, like how it feels, what it changes. Yeah.
Mm.
Feel free to share anything that like pops up in your head as you're doing this.
Um, the word flow came up.
Yeah. Hello.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Does that mean that your body feels a little bit more liquid or just
Yeah.
connected? What do we talk about there?
More fluid,
Hmm.
and not rigid. I think when we started the call, I was quite rigid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I always suggest to people, sure, you can practice your posture another time. Right now, we're going with whatever the body needs in this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best way that you can connect to your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, asking again, how do you feel right now?
Hmm. Relaxed.
Yeah. Lovely. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And from this place of a little bit more relaxation, can you tell me a little bit about um, how climate change is affecting you right now?
Hmm. Um, so I find myself experiencing despair.
Mm,
I
yeah,
became collapse aware around the beginning of December.
yeah,
So
that's
that
big and all at once, huh?
2 months ago.
Yeah,
So I still feel like I'm getting used to the idea.
yeah,
It wasn't a complete shock. I was researching it because I thought, come on, guys, this is collapsing.
yeah,
So I went searching for the information, but still to
yeah,
see it in writing as a fact
yeah,
um,
yeah,
was new for me.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. And Charlotte, how does despair show up in your life right now?
Isolating from
Mm,
people. It's quite hard to have a conversation with people because I'm seeing the world through a lens,
yeah,
which I believe is close to reality,
yeah,
and I'm engaging with people that have a very different lens of the world.
yeah,
And I don't feel it's for me to put my lens onto them unless they're showing curiosity or willingness to see it.
yeah.
So I find myself having to hide what I'm thinking, pretend
Oh,
my
yeah,
feeling in order
yeah,
to be able to relate to others.
yeah. And is does that feel like a familiar feeling to have to hide your feelings, hide, you know, what you want to talk about?
It um it it resembles who I was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And like I spent my adult life on a healing journey,
Yeah.
coach now, so I've turned my career into that
Yeah.
work. But I worked very hard through therapy and coaching to find out who I really am
Yeah.
and to start living true to my values, start speaking my truth,
Yeah.
um, setting better boundaries, saying yes when I mean yes, less people pleasing, like all that stuff.
Mhm.
And I've lived a number of years, 7 years in this space,
Yeah.
and I'm collapse aware. I feel like I've had to go backwards and I have to
Yeah.
pretend again. I'm
Yeah.
like, hang on.
Oh no. Yeah.
But through being aware, I feel like I'm being forced to go backwards. Like it's a
Yeah.
punishment.
Yeah. Yeah. So It feels like a punishment. That's a really interesting turn of phrase.
Hmm.
I'm curious about that. I don't know if you caught it. I was going to go into something else, and then she used that turn of phrase as a punishment, and it completely derailed wherever else I was going to go. So, for those who aren't aware, um, there are plenty of folks out there and scientists out there who are feeling like everything is actually collapsing, both um, ecologically and civilization wise. And so that's what Charlotte's talking about here. Um, I haven't said it in the previous 3 videos, but again, an awesome thing about these sessions is that I'm taking people from a huge slice of the population that's accessible to me, and um, everybody has their own. I don't even want to call them beliefs because they don't believe this stuff; they know it, and it's not on me to agree or disagree. And there's no reason that I need to do either or even share here uh, what I agree with or disagree with, or what I know as truth or what I don't know as truth. For Charlotte, this is her truth, and she's fresh, new in it, and it's upturned her world. And I think that all of us can identify with that one way or the other.
It feels unfair that one, I have to face collapse. I have this awareness, so I have to deal with the emotions that come with it.
Yeah,
And two, it makes it feel impossible to be in relationship with most people.
yeah,
It's like a double, like a
yeah,
lose lose.
yeah, yeah. So if we take a moment and think about what this maybe the summer was like. You know, it's been 7 years, you said, of speaking your truth and saying no and being more fully you and healing from your past, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was it like in the summer? Or the last time that you remember feeling in your truth?
Mm-hmm. So if I think back to the summer, I've been living in my camper van
Mhm.
for a large part of last year. So I
Mhm.
was traveling around the country, going to festivals, meeting
Mm.
people, being in nature, being led by what I wanted,
Yeah. Yeah.
and being really inspired to work with my clients. I help people change career and
Yeah.
find purpose.
Yeah.
And I was in a real state of flow with creating content for
Yeah.
social platforms. So I was just in this flow.
Yeah.
Um,
So that is the first genuine smile I've seen on you
yeah,
today. So you were just in this flow of creating content and working with clients. What does it feel like? Just remembering the echoes of what that flow felt like. Can you feel it in your body? Just the echoes of it.
yeah. The word ease comes up. It's just
Hmm.
easy. Like I didn't have to know what was happening next. I didn't need to know
Yeah.
about the future.
Yeah.
Future would be fine.
Yeah.
I just focus on what I'm doing right now
Yeah.
and trust. I think there was a lot of trust in
Yeah.
I'll know what to write next for
Yeah.
my social platform. I'll know what next to do on my business journey. I'll know what fun thing to do next. It's like intuitively
Yeah.
responding to life, I guess.
Yeah. So ease and trust and next came up a lot, right? The trusting what's going to come next, but just being like open to everything that is going to happen, I guess. Does that mean that you were also trusting what was happening in the moment?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So if we go back to that ease for a second, is that throughout your body?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And does it feel the same everywhere, that ease?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And can you feel the trust in your body?
I don't know if this is right, but I'm feeling it in my stomach. It's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah, like a funk kind of. Yeah, interesting. And there's no right or wrong. So of course that's right. In this moment, that's right. So that
like a
settling, sinking, thunk. Go ahead.
like a weight that keeps me steady and
Yeah.
grounded.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds lovely.
Yeah.
And out of curiosity, is that trust um for you? Like, do you trust you? Do you trust everybody else? Do you trust the universe? What is that trust focused on?
I think firstly, predominantly myself.
Hmm.
I can trust that I will make the right decisions. I will say the right things.
Yeah.
Um, and when I say right, I don't mean um, that people will approve, but that it's coming from an authentic place.
Yes.
What I mean by right.
Yes. Okay. So right, authentic, true for you. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. And just settling with that, savoring this feeling of ease and trust and balanced weight that holds you kind of upright. Yeah. How is it to just take a moment with that?
Mm. It feels a bit unfamiliar. I haven't felt that trust
Yeah.
since being collapse aware.
Yeah. Yeah. And saying that sentence, did anything change?
I feel trust as I said it.
Yeah. In my opinion, Charlotte has needed that feeling for months. And if nothing else happened in this appointment, in this session, I'm delighted that she was able to feel that trust in that moment right there. Yeah. So, truth. You just spoke a truth.
Hmm.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. And then just allowing from this place of ease and trust, allowing the collapse awareness to come back, to thread its way back into your consciousness. And I'm wondering if it's possible to have both happen at the same time in your body.
It's funny, my eyes are watering. It's brought up emotion.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is that okay to have a little bit of emotion right now?
Mm.
Yeah. And if we can be curious, what is that emotion?
I've been very cut off from my emotions. I'm a real crier.
Yeah.
Um, some people can't cry. I can't stop crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since I was a kid.
Yeah.
But weirdly, I've barely cried in the last 3 months since becoming collapse aware. Like, it's the first time in my life
Interesting.
where I don't just feel and cry.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you been feeling as much?
In a way, yes and no.
I'm interested in that no.
It's like a void
Huh.
thingness, which is, I guess, no feeling,
Yeah.
but there's still some kind of feeling attached to that.
Yeah. Especially if you're used to feeling, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And can you feel it right now?
The void.
Mhm. Don't reach for it, just kind of check. No.
I'm
So
no.
you're actually feeling right now.
Mm.
Mm, that's interesting. What are you feeling?
Sadness
Yeah. Where do you feel the sadness, Charlotte?
in my stomach.
Yeah. What's it
Mm.
feel like there in your stomach?
Feels like it's filling my stomach.
Hmm. Is it so the way that you said that, I'm wondering if it's continuing to expand or if it just fills your stomach.
It just fills my stomach.
Yeah.
Mm.
And what is it? Like is it soft or hard or heavy or light or
It's actually hard. It's pushing
mm, it's pushing up,
out.
out. It's pushing out. Yeah. Yeah. And so this might be a weird question, but comfortable, uncomfortable, neutral?
Neutral.
Yeah. So in this case, sadness is neutral.
I guess it's hard for me to connect those words to the sadness.
Ah, yeah.
Maybe because I'm just thinking maybe in a Buddhist sense, but I don't necessarily see or feel it as a good or a bad.
Hmm.
It just is there.
It just is there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And and looking at the sadness again, as closely or far away as you need to be okay. Does the sadness have a focus? Like, are you sad about something, or is it just is?
Um, the thing that comes up when you say that is children. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. So sadness about children,
Mm.
and it just is. Is that still the case when you put a direction on it?
No, then it
No.
changes.
Yeah. Then it
Yeah,
changes to what?
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Is it okay to feel a little bit of that discomfort?
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, and is it okay to say just a little bit more
yeah,
about the sadness about the children?
yeah. There are lots of children being born at the moment, and
Yeah.
there are people in my life who are pregnant,
Yeah.
who have just announced becoming pregnant, new babies, toddlers that I'm connected to, um, and they have no idea.
They have no idea. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure that this is important,
Mm.
so we can drop it if it's not, but who has no idea? The parents or the infants or the children?
All of them.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Would it make any difference if they did?
If the parents knew,
Yeah,
that would be a different kind of feeling, I think.
yeah.
Confusion,
So
probably.
I'm sorry, say it again?
Might be confusion.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the word that just came into my head may or may not, you're gonna have to help me out here, but, it sounds like this sadness is, like, compassion-based? Yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah. And and just checking in, it's a
Mm.
lot, right? Is it still okay to be here with us?
Yes,
Okay.
it's good even, yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell me why it's good?
Because I haven't been connecting to this. It comes, and then I
Mm.
think I keep pushing it away
Yeah. Yeah. And just getting curious about why you push it away.
because it feels like this it's never ending.
Yeah.
It's not like one thing that's sad. It's like
Yeah.
that child, that parent, that new baby. If I
Yeah.
let one thing in, the whole lot might keep flowing in, and I don't know if I
Yeah. Yeah.
stand
Yeah.
up, carry on
Yeah.
Mhm,
And so right now we're just feeling a little bit of it, right?
mhm.
Yeah. And has has the feeling of sadness changed in you? It was in your belly, kind of pushing out, kind of heavy. Has it
Mm.
changed or is it similar?
It's moved out,
Like
up.
outside of your body?
No, but up into my chest and round to my side.
Both sides or just one of them? Okay. Checking in with your breathing. How's your breathing doing right now? Still doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe also while we're here, just checking in to see if you can feel that bunk of truth in there anywhere. Is it there at the same time? Yeah. Yeah. It's true that there's sadness around children.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's the the ignorance, but I want to use a prettier word than ignorance, but because there's no judgment around it. But
Right.
being a parent, I was at an event, a networking event last week, and a guy won an award, and he said, "You know, the best thing in my life right now isn't this award; it's my beautiful 2-year-old son who I love more than anything." And I was like, "Oh gosh, he has no idea."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. Yeah.
Mm.
What this sadness, this compassionate sadness and truth together in the same area of your stomach and now your chest, right? If it could talk, is there something that it would say?
It's saying keep going.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Is it saying who is it saying that to?
The sadness and the authentic trust part.
So keep going with both? Huh. What do you think of that?
It makes sense. actually.
Tell me more about that. How does it make sense to you?
Um, I'm at my best when I'm connected to my emotions, whether they're
Yeah.
sadness or joy.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that part of the flow and ease and truth that you were talking about that you had going on before
Mm-hmm.
collapse? Yeah.
Mm.
So, what do you imagine? You don't have to look too hard if it hurts. But what do you imagine it would look like to stay with your emotions and the ease and the flow and bringing in the collapse awareness as part of you?
There's like a conflict going on in my body.
Ah, can you tell me about it?
So partly it's like yes, because that's what
So where is the yes?
yes is the stomach up to the chest, mid.
Mhm. Mhm. That's where the
Like,
sadness was, yeah?
yeah,
Yep.
and up here is like
Yeah. So that's the conflict part. Yeah. So constriction it looks like. So is it above where the other stuff says yes? Right. And so that right? Like maybe constriction, maybe tightness. What would your words be for that feeling?
constricted, and it's um, constricting my voice.
Yeah. In all kinds of ways for the last few months, huh?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, in all the ways.
Yeah. And it sounds like it's been doing a pretty good job of keeping you quiet.
Hmm.
Yeah. So again, right, we're not talking to your orbit right now, right? I mean, some of them might be here and you never know if they're here looking at this, then they might want your actual truth, what's going on right now. Um, what what wants to get past that constriction? Like, what is it constricting against actually saying or expressing or doing?
Mm. So I like to close my eyes when because it stops me
Please.
from using my head and listening more to my body and intuition.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm glad you're respecting that need.
Mm. I think there's a fear of me collapsing,
Mm.
and it's trying to protect me from that.
There's a fear of you collapsing if what?
If I let too much of the emotion come.
Yes. Yeah. It
Mm.
is. It's vast.
Mm.
It's as big as the earth. It's not as big as you.
Mm.
Yeah. And you were able to feel a little bit of sadness, right?
Mm.
And you didn't fall on the floor sobbing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's I mean, it's worth that in my in my in my experience. It's worth all of the sadness and all of the rage that we can come up with, but maybe your body's right. If you did do all of that all at once, you'd
Mm.
collapse too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody can feel all of that.
Not at once. Yeah.
Mm.
So what's going on in you right now?
There's a calmness.
Mm. Can you tell me about it?
Mm. it's hard to describe. It's a s the word solemn, a solemnness,
Mhm.
feeling,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
the sadness was quite activating,
Mhm.
feeling that was quite restrictive, and now it's
Mhm.
like settled in somewhere in the middle, which is like this sort of solemn
Yeah.
mood
Yeah.
of mm.
And how is that? So we're talking apples and oranges here, right? Or, possibly apples and carrots. Um, when I first asked you how you were half an hour ago, um, you had your head and then your body, right? Like it was two separate things. Where are you now with that? Is that solemnness, that calmness? Are you here with it?
I'll go with what just came up without, because I feel
Please.
like I'm trying to think it now. The solemnness, I think, is more out of me. It's the mood of
Mhm.
the world.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And does that mean that you've come out of you? No. You've just taken on the mood of the world.
Mhm.
Huh. And how is that?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think because we were talking about the sadness being the whole planet, it kind
Mhm.
of put a scale to it.
Mhm.
Just sort of feeling that scale, that it's in every air molecule.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And checking in with that weight of truth, what does that change?
Maybe it changes that it can be around me and
Mm.
I can be here rather than it be this thing that I'm pushing away. So it's either here or it's away because I pushed it away.
Yeah.
Actually,
That's so visceral, right? Like, oh God. Yeah.
here, and I can breathe it in.
Mhm.
If I'm breathing it in, it can't be pushed away. It's here.
Right. Right. It's here. And you still have the truth. Yeah. And again, sometimes I have no idea why I ask these questions. Your truth, your authenticity, as you breathe in this solemnness, what does it say? What does it want to say to your people, to the world?
It's here. You or I can't stop it, but we're alive right now.
Yeah. But we're alive right now. Yeah. We can't
and
stop it, but we're alive right now. What else?
and we don't know how much time we have,
Hmm.
but we never did.
Yeah.
It just feels like the timeline
Yeah.
shorter,
Yeah.
but still we don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
That reminds me a little bit of what you were talking about when you were feeling ease and truth, and flow in the summer, that you didn't know what was coming, figured it would work its way out, whatever happened. You were doing the right thing right then.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's interesting that it reminds me of that. It's like
Mm.
it's still in you somewhere.
Mhm.
Yeah. Can you feel that?
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
again, noticing how you feel right now.
Mm. Strong, solid.
Wow. And I keep noticing that I have only paused this to talk about it twice, and I'm kind of riveted. So I guess I hope you guys are too. How can you tell that you feel strong and solid?
I can feel my whole body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a heck of a lot different than when we first checked in, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And what's your whole body telling you? Either
Yeah.
by sensation or whatever.
Yeah. You've got this.
You've you've got this, Charlotte.
Yeah.
You've got this.
The world is crumbling and on fire, but it's all right. You've got it.
You've got it. Yeah. And see, that's another genuine smile too.
Mm.
Even though the world is crumbling and on fire, we can have a genuine smile. You've got this.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
this is still living.
And this what?
This is still living.
Yeah, it is.
Even when shit goes down, that will still be living.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Mm.
Do you feel like that's a good stopping place right now?